Thank you, Mark, and a big hello from London. Well, it is not often that I set a record here, but last week's technical actions set off a record. In the so many years I have been highlighting the weekly patterns, never ever have I seen so many all at once. In the 200 or so markets I watch and I cover, there were a total of 42 markets which had weekly key reversals. So roughly 20 odd %. There are so many that to keep within time constraints, I will not be delving deeper into the charts of some of the more interesting ones here, though I will add a few comments here and there. In addition to these, this past Monday saw the end of June, and we had quite a few monthly patterns to look at as well, though likewise I'll only pass a comment here or there, rather than delve deeper into the charts on these monthly patterns. Indeed, it would be easier, I think, to discuss the monthly patterns first, as there are only 10 of these. Still a large number for monthly patterns. So here goes. We had monthly key reversals down in June in US dollar Israeli shekel, COMEX cobalt futures, only just on that one, in Chicago soybean futures. Now please bear that one in mind, as it will crop up again later on. In ICE UK feed wheat futures, in GameStop stock of the US, and in the Baltic Clean Tanker Index. We had monthly key reversals up in June in Chicago soybean oil futures, and I will leave you to draw your own conclusions with this monthly key reversal up in bean oil and the earlier monthly key reversal down in soybean futures. We further had monthly key reversals up in the ICE Brent crude oil and ICE gas oil futures spread. Plus, we had a monthly key reversal up in the Baltic Panamax and the Baltic Supramax indexes. That covers the monthly key reversals for June, which went out in 2 email notifications to customers and interested parties. Now, my normal 1 or 2 email weekly notifications made over this past weekend, well, that reached a new record of 4, yes, 4 emails detailing all the weekly key reversals. So here goes. Last week saw weekly key reversals down in the US dollar index, in Euro Swiss, US dollar Brazilian Real, US dollar Mexican Peso, US dollar Chinese Yuan onshore 1 month, and also the 1 year NDF. Indeed, the 1 year NDF was a compound weekly key reversal down. Now this is where last week's second consecutive weekly key reversal down made an even bigger weekly key reversal down when compared to the prior week's one. We also had weekly key reversals down in US dollar Indonesian rupiah, US dollar Swedish krona, Euro against the Polish zloty, if only just on this one, Euro against Hungarian forint, Swiss franc against the Polish zloty, US dollar against the Romanian lei, US dollar against the Hungarian forint, US dollar against the Taiwanese dollar, US dollar against the Korean won, US dollar against the Singapore dollar. We further had weekly key reversals down in NYMEX futures on WTI crude oil, on heating oil, and on RBOB futures. We also had weekly key reversals down in ICE futures on both Brent crude oil and on gas oil, along with futures on EEX butter, ICE Dutch TTF gas baseload, ICE UK NBP nat gas, and the Baltic Clean Tanker Index. These were just the weekly key reversals down that I saw, and if anything, a common thing amongst them would be a weakening of the US dollar in some of the less common, though still well traded currency pairs, as well as a weakening of different energy areas. Moving now on to the weekly key reversals up. And we saw weekly key reversals up last week in the Aussie dollar US dollar, and an interesting one this, as it was an immediate countering weekly key reversal up, in that it was a larger and opposite weekly key reversal up to the previous week's weekly key reversal down. We also had weekly key reversals up in sterling against the US dollar, cable, both the Nasdaq Composite and the 100 indexes, sterling rand, Dow Jones index, the Chinese CSI 300 stock index, the Chinex stock index, the Shanghai Composite stock index, and the CSI A50 stock index, plus the Nikkei 225 index of Japan and the Flex Semiconductor index of the US, as well as the broader Russell 2000 index. We also had a weekly key reversal up in GameStop stock of the US, which is a bit of a dichotomy as we have a weekly key reversal up here last week, but also a monthly key reversal down for June. I will leave you to ponder on that dichotomy. And I'll finish with two others. We had a weekly key reversal up in New York cotton futures last week, though this is a dubious one as it relies on the daily continuous charts to generate that one. I finally finished with a weekly key reversal up in LME 3-month nickel. The theme in these weekly key reversals up is in part a continuation of some US dollar weakness, which was already spoken about, but also a corresponding move higher in US stocks and in the US's great trading partner, China. Okay, so finally, you should note that no AI was used in the composition, production or recognition of any of these patterns. As always, I'm happy to answer any direct questions with anyone who's interested. And to be honest, you should have some questions with so many weekly patterns all at the same time. But with that, I'll finish this section from London, and I hope that you found these comments useful. Thank you for listening and watching this broadcast. This weekly broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and at the back of this broadcast. The copyright is Eddie Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.